In what is an example of why any blue won't do, a Democratic congressman from Maine is totally fine with an inevitable Trump victory. So this is Representative Jared Golden, who suggested on Tuesday in an op-ed that, number one, Trump will win the election, and number two, that wouldn't be so bad. Now, he writes in a Bangor Daily News op-ed that, quote, after the first presidential debate, lots of Democrats are panicking about whether President Joe Biden should step down as the party's nominee. Biden's poor performance in the debate was not a surprise. It also didn't rattle me as it has others, because the outcome of this election has been clear to me for months. While I don't plan to vote for him, Donald Trump is going to win, and I'm okay with that. So, okay, for one, you can acknowledge that, hey, polls are looking pretty terrible for Biden. Even before the debate, he was not doing very well in swing states, and now it's even worse. So, can't ignore the polls. That's reality. And yes, acknowledging the reality actually means that you can do something about it to change that reality. Okay? Now, but this guy, he's like, yeah, I see the reality, and I'm fine with it. Well, of course he's fine with it. Look at him. He's a cisgender white guy. People who look like him and who look like me, we're going to be okay under a Trump presidency. But gay people, transgender people, black people, Hispanics, Latinos, women of all colors and orientations, they're the ones who are going to suffer most under Trumpism, under Project 2025, which is why we shouldn't let Trump win. Okay, that's why this is a danger. Okay, that's why there is a lot of people going, oh my God, we have to stop this from happening. But he continues. Democrats' post-debate hand-wringing is based on the idea that a Trump victory is not just a political loss, but a unique threat to our democracy. I reject the premise. Oh, really? Easy for you to say. Right? Again, because you don't really have anything to lose. Now, do you? But he says, unlike Biden and many others, I refuse to participate in a campaign to scare voters with the idea that Trump will end our democratic system. Oh, really? Now, the Supreme Court, which is conservative, ideologically, just gave the president blanket immunity for any and all official acts. And those are on the margin of official acts. Project 2025 would massively expand the scope of presidential powers, which would essentially hand Trump massive authority to do basically whatever he wants. Again, he would now have a DOJ, for example, that would be answerable only to him. So all the independence of those agencies would be gone under Project 2025. Unitary executive theory. That would be the kind of thing that would end our democracy, because it would end the system of checks and balances that we have. Already, the right wing has the courts, and under Trump, they would have the presidency as well. And of course, however, Congress, those congressional down ballot races play out like, I don't know, the one that he's involved in right now. And it is probably why he's going, oh, this is fine. And I'll get to that in a minute. But, all those congressional races could hand a trifecta to Republicans to do essentially whatever they want. And what they want is not good for this country. Okay? But again, Golden, not too concerned, because he represents a Trump-friendly second district. And so you can see what he's doing here. He's trying to grab Republican voters and be like, don't worry, that's the liberals. They're just hand-wringing. Everything's fine. I'm totally fine with the Trump presidency. Now, it shouldn't be surprising that he co-chairs the Blue Dog Coalition, which is a group of so-called moderate Democrats, right? Now, this guy has a history of voting with Republicans on climate, military, and student debt relief policies. So, again, there would be no change for him because he already votes with the right wing. He's a Republican in blueface. That's what he is. Now, in fact, what he thought about January 6th, he said, quote, the pearl-clutching about a Trump victory ignores the strength of our democracy. January 6, 2021 was a dark day, but Americans stood strong. And so he's like, don't worry about it. Our institutions are strong enough to withstand another January 6th. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Well, you want to risk that again? Considering the fact that Biden and Congress have done nothing to shore up those democratic institutions since then, which Republicans, as I shouldn't have to remind you, but have been chipping away at those very institutions for a long time. Republicans, remember, they play the long game, okay? And that's what has led up to this point in history. So, no, they haven't done anything to shore up our democratic institutions to prevent another January 6th, which, again, could happen. Could happen. And again, the Supreme Court ruling has made it that much more difficult for the cases against Donald Trump related to that, as well as the Capitol rioters, to move forward now. Okay? So there's a lot of concern here that this guy's just like completely glossing over. Now, Golden got a lot of backlash for this, as he should. Fordham University Assistant Political Science Professor Jacob Smith called it, quote, one of the most irresponsible things a Democratic member of Congress has written in recent memory. Veteran journalist Mark Jacob said on social media, quote, Congressman Jared Golden, an alleged Democrat from Maine, waves the white flag against Trump in an unconscionable surrender to fascism. Maybe he thinks he can cut a deal. The cowards and quislings are making themselves known. Another, Young Democrats of America President Quentin Watham Okama said, Jared Golden's op-ed today may be one of the worst takes we've seen so far, particularly in light of the Supreme Court's decision yesterday. I'm astounded that the congressman has such an absurdly bad take and is apparently ready to give up on an election 5 months out. Well, again, I'm not exactly surprised at the cowardice of some of these so-called moderate, blue dog Democrats. They are always the first ones to surrender to right-wing fascism. I mean, they're always the ones, I don't know, like, get the trains running on time. That's all I care about. Yeah, I just care about things just moving along. That's all we need to do. I don't care about trans people. I don't care about gay people, black people. Who cares, right? Who cares? Unless they need their votes. Then we care about them, or we pretend to care about them. But other than that, I mean, the threat of fascism. I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about that. You guys are just hand wringing. No, this is serious. This is serious, and he's not paying attention, or he doesn't care. I think the latter is that he does not care, because as I've said before, he knows that he's going to be absolutely fine and untouched, while swaths of the country, poor people, by the way, homeless people, right? Thanks to this conservative Supreme Court, now homeless people are going to be able to be arrested for just sleeping, okay? And there's nothing, and this is without shelter, by the way. So no requirement to build shelters for homeless people. And on top of that, now, that's okay. We can arrest them for, not building shelters for them, not having a place for them to go, and arrest them for sleeping in the only place that's left, which is outside. No, this is absolute fascism. And this guy says, no, totally fine. We'll survive. No, you'll survive. But a lot of people won't. Once again, blue no matter who? Flawed concept. This is why primaries are very, very important, and why voting for the most progressive candidate you can is ultimately going to do much, much better than just people like this. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.